interview that we have lined up today, and I want to ask her to introduce herself this morning. Good morning, how are you?
Hi, Pastor Google. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I am Renel Kisoon from the Miariokla Regional Corporation.
Miariokla.
Yes, I am an incumbent councillor.
Oh, so you were there before?
I was there before for the last 3.5 years.
Right.
And the electoral district of Kokal-Mafikin is the seat that I am vying for re-election.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and personally, and tell us a little bit about you professionally.
What? You know, the most important thing that I want people to know about me is I am Mayaro. I am for Mayaro, from Mayaro, and I am a proud flag bearer of my Mayaro community. And you know, as I say that, I would want you to know that, let me just put it out there, that there's a reason why I am doing this. That's why politics matters to me. It's always about the community. I am a graduate of the University of the West Indies, bachelor's in criminology and criminal justice. And I am 26 years old. So when I entered politics 3.5 years ago, I was only 23. And in my final year at UE.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so why have you chosen to, again, position yourself or present yourself for local government elections? Why? Because you have done one term, so why now have you chosen to go back up as a local government representative?
I feel like the work is not finished. You know, for me, when I never wanted to be a politician, right? Okay. You know, some people, they go to UA and they study political science. Their dream is to be MP and maybe Prime Minister one day. That was never something for me. I actually wanted to do law, and I was not successful at UWI St. Augustine. I was successful at Cave Hill and Jamaica. But my sister was studying medicine at the time in Jamaica, and it was just unaffordable for my family. So I did the next best thing, which was criminology and criminal justice, with the intention of doing law later on, and that's something that I'm still interested in, yes. So I was in my final year at UWI, and leadership and I guess community and giving back and representation was always important to me, because while at UE, I was on the Guild of Students as the faculty representative for social sciences. And in my final year at UE, the opportunity presented itself for me to enter local government and representational politics at the local government level. And, you know, I thought about it. At the last day, the final day for nomination with the United National Congress, I remember being on a field in Couva, filling out my nomination form at 4:59 p.m. and rushing into the door before 5 p.m. to submit the papers. So, you know, it wasn't something that I had planned to do. The opportunity presented itself to help develop the Mayaro community, to give back to this community that basically grew me up, that invested in my education. I remember they say it takes a village, and my Mayaro village really helped make me into who I am today. And I really wanted to give back to my community at some point in my life. And looking back now, I'm grateful I'm doing it now, where I don't have a heavy professional career, because I'm not employed otherwise. This is a full-time thing for me, basically. And I don't have a family or my own family yet, so I don't have children yet, you know. And I'm grateful that I have the time to really put my best foot forward to serve my community now.
Okay. So tell me, seeing that you're talking about your community so much, tell me about your community, like example, the makeup of the community. Tell me about the dynamics, the culture of the community.
Okay, so Mayaro, you all know that is a seaside community. It's a very rural community. We are a fishing village, fishing and farming. Those are the two major livelihoods. And we have a very strong oil and gas community at Point Galeota. In terms of employment, those are the three major sources of employment, and I guess the regional corporation. We have a population of about 35,000 people population. And we are a very, I want to say rural, but I don't want to say it, and people think, we backyard. It's not like that. We are proud of who we are, and I think that's important for people to understand. And as a proud Mayaro girl, I want people to know that we are asking at all levels for help to make our livelihood easier. We are not trying to change and be Westmoreland, for example. We want to be Mayaro and develop Mayaro with the tools and resources we have. Yeah.
All right, great. So, what are your plans then? Seeing that you're talking, and I know that you really have a heart for your community. What are your plans and your vision for your electoral district?
That's a really good question. So, in my district, that's Kokal Mafikin, right? The makeup. So, I'm gonna break it down for you a little bit. Mm-hmm. We originally had 6 electoral districts at the corporation. Recently, we got an additional district. So part of my district was reshuffled then into a new seat that is now Mayaro North. So we have Mayaro North, Mayaro South, Guayari, and Kokal Mafikin in Mayaro on the Mayaro end. So from 2 districts, we now have 3. And the Kokal Mafikin district spans in a river swamp. So it's a very large electoral district. I believe it's the 2nd largest in the Mayaro Regional Corporation, where we have peace from Bish. I don't know if you're familiar with that end, right? But Bish is the bush. So we have peace in Bish. We have peace in Mafikin, the area that always flooding. Peace between Rio Claro and Mayaro. And then Kernaham, Cascadoo, I don't know if you know the community with the watermelons. So that falls in my electoral district. So it's broken up in a very large land space. So part of what I see for the development of Kokal Mafikin, flooding, major issue that we have. What we need there is the support of central government. It is beyond the scope of what we are capable of doing at the local government level. I see on the internet, on the World Wide Web, where communities are developed in rivers and water courses and along the water courses. And Mafikin is a community on the water bank. So we need to find a way, and with the support of central government and the Ministry of Works, to incorporate the river into the community so that there's one full 24 hours of rain will flood Mafikin, undoubtedly. And that's something that we are aware of, and we need resources to help fix that problem. So the vision is, 1, get rid of that flooding, eradicate the flooding in the Mafikin area. Kernaham, Cascadoo, Bristol, and Plumita are 3 of the major food baskets, and those fall in Kokal Mafikin. We need the support of the Ministry of Agriculture to help those farming communities. They are always asking for support. They need the proper documents from the ministry. They need the support when it comes to helping sell their produce. The Manzanilla Mayaro Road is totally destroyed, as you all would be aware of, and that is affecting the sales of the farmers in the Kernaham community. They need support there as well. Predar larceny is becoming rampant in the community. Those are the kind of support systems that we need. And yes, those are not direct local government problems, but at the local government level, they call on the councillor to represent for them. Ministry of Tourism is another ministry that we need the support from to assist in the Kokal Mafikin district, because it is a seaside district where we know that we can't depend on the oil and gas. We can't do it solely through agriculture. We need to boost the tourism sector within the community. So, my vision is to see Mayaro grow on the Trinbago scale and on the Caribbean regional scale to be synonymous with Maracas.
All right, I hear you. And Then my question to you would be, you know, we're hearing a lot about local government reform, and, you know, some of the things that you're talking about, I don't know what's your thoughts about local government reform?
So, local government reform is needed. You know, that is something that, let's make it clear, local government cannot exist as is right now.
Okay.
Right? We need more resources. We need more attention. In the past, local government has always been seen as, you know, clean your drain and dispose of your garbage. We know that it could be way more than that, and a lot of the councillors have been operating beyond the scope, beyond what is stated in the Municipal Corporations Act.
So you agree with the full-time, because you've done full-time already?
I am already. And let me tell you, I still don't have enough time. Right. So that, yes, I agree with the full-time. Personally, yes, I do, right? But, and let me see, where I do not agree with that local government reformation is the introduction of property tax to do it. Okay. We have seen in the national budget, we can prioritize ministries if we want to.
Okay.
The central government can do it, and I do not think that we should rely on property tax to reform local government. I think if it happens and if it is successful, because right now it has not been successful, the process of going to the homes and doing the filling out the forms, especially in rural communities like Mayaro, I can tell you on the ground, a lot of the locals don't even understand the property tax. Okay. They don't understand. Nobody reached to them yet to say this is what X, Y, and Z is the case. And let me tell you, this is where there is a gap. Sometimes we say, and that's a joke we have in Mayaro, because we are furthest from the capital and from the treasury, we get the least attention. But perhaps somewhere there is a gap, not just in terms of consultation and people coming into the community, but in terms of the technology too. And we have a very old population, I would say, in a sense, where you need to take your time and carefully explain some of these policies to the residents. So in terms of the reform, yes, we need reform in local government. However, there is a lag in that local government reformation. For example, I would say in the last 3.5 years as a local government representative, I can tell you that I got an office in my 3rd year as a councillor. Okay. So I operated for 2 years without any assistance, without any staff, because unless you have an office, you are not entitled to a secretary. Okay. And you know, you want to talk about local government reform, but then simple things like that, like the assisting the councillors and the elected officials to operate efficiently. In my last term, I did not see that. Okay. So, you know, I want the local government reform to happen. I don't want cosmetic change. I don't want a papi show. If you are going to give us local government reform, then allocate the money in the national budget and give us the reform that you are promising for the last 15 years, I believe, right? Don't just rely on property tax to do it.
All right.
It will not work.
All right. So if you were walking and you were to meet someone and they tell you that they're not voting, what would you say to them to encourage them to vote for you?
I would ask them why, right? First of all, I want to understand. I like to understand both sides, right? So if you tell me you're not voting, I will not tell you you're wrong. I want to understand why. So I've met people on the trail and they asked me, you know, they said, Councillor, you know, I don't make up my mind in a girl. I ain't going to vote this year. So I say, well, why? They say, well, nothing is changing. You know, I vote in 50 years now, 60 years now, or we don't see all you come back into the communities. They say things like that to us, right? I know that people are frustrated and they are fed up. I've been on the ground. They are not happy when they go to the supermarkets, when they go to the gas stations. They have children to see about, a mind to send to school. They have the book list to buy for September. They are very, very frustrated. What I would say is, your vote, at the end of the day, there will be an elected representative, whether you vote or not. And your vote is valuable. You should contribute to who your representative will be, because when you have water problems after August 14th, when you have garbage problems, when you have an issue with a pothole in front of your house and it's wetting up your children when they stand up for a taxi to go to school, you will call your elected representative. You will need somebody to call. So I am asking you to add your vote to the conversation. But more than that, I believe wholeheartedly that after 8 years under the PNM government, this local government election will weigh in on the next general election. And whoever is more successful at the polls will form the next government in 2025. And if you are not satisfied with the living conditions right now, then send a message to the government. Let them know how you feel about what they are doing and how they are serving you.
All right, thank you very much. So you just heard from the representative from where?
Kokal Mafikin, Ronald Kisoon.
Ronald Kisoon. I want to thank you very much, Ronald, for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So we're going to ask the other representative to come in, and then we're going to we'll have a session where we call all of you all in. We call all of you all in to come to take some calls and hear from the listeners and take some questions from them, okay?
Thank you very much.
Physicians, politicians, atheists, etc. deny God, or decide to just patronize. Hey, they tolerate Christianity as just a social matter. To bury, for marriage, and to baptize. Hey man, check the first two presidents of the United States of America. They were Orthodox, practicing Christians, because the mysteries of God's plan are nonsense to carnal man. The master say walk by faith, never to extrapolate, cause he's too great. I know he's too great, and I say too shall be.
So if you're now joining me, you will be viewing me on YouTube and on Facebook, or you're listening to me on the radio, and you want to know what's happening. I have in studio with me, I'm interviewing today UNC candidates that are going up for the local government elections. And you just heard from the young lady from Bish. And now we have in studio Mr. Ali Bokas, and he's going up for San Fernando, Marbella West. All right? And that's in San Fernando West. So we're going to have Mr. Ali Bokas sharing with you and talking with you. So join me on the Facebook, join me on the YouTube, join me on TikTok. Also, we are live on Instagram.
It is when God leading the leader, instructing the leader. We want to go.
All right, so Mr. Ali Bokas, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, 91.9.
All right, so you are here with us today, going up for the local government elections.
Yeah, this is my first time.
First time. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself personally and professionally. Who is Mr. Ali Bokas?
Well, my name is John Michael Ali Bokas. I'm a son of the soil of San Fernando, into the promotional business, and also too when coming to managing artists. I manage Nessa Preppy at present. And well, going from being a popular youth from on the streets to then seeing how we're going to bring that popularity into money, becoming a promoter, doing at least 300 events under Machiavelli promotion, and then transforming when coming to going into being an artist as Macamillion. So it was from John Michael Ali Bokas to Machiavelli to then being Macamillion, and now it's a whole different ballgame coming into politics right now.
All right, why you choose to get into politics right now?
Well, being a person on the ground, I seen there's a lot of problems on the ground. I have a family business that's over 100 years, and we stand for the people. We stand for serving people. I'm the fourth generation of Charlie's Black Pudding, and being the boss of it right now, and having the responsibility of seeing about all my workers, and not only just seeing about my workers, but seeing the people that was on the floor that is going through a lot of problems. I'm very concerned. I reach the point that I'm concerned. Since after the COVID, it was you have to be concerned, because 3 years going into 4th year, we're still feeling problems over that. You could see things that going on out there where groceries getting expensive. Right now, I've seen a lot of mothers with their daughters, not sons, but their daughters, that is on the streets walking, asking for money. And at present, right now, I am seeing about a family, and many families, not only just Trinidadians, but even the Venezuelans that came to our country, whereby, we accepted them into the country, and we were also given a budget to see about them. And I could see them on the wayside in front of banks, and they asking for money, and I could see Trinidadians, to the side of the road. So, me being a concerned citizen, I decided to make an attempt whereby, even if I have to start from one community in developing the community and safeguarding the people, let me start from somewhere. And this is why I'm here today. This is not about hype. This is not about me being Macamillion. This is about me now giving back to my community, giving back to my country, and just love now. The country at this point needs love.
Okay. Okay, so tell me about the community, the dynamics of the community, the makeup of the community. Share with me the culture of the community that you seek to represent.
Well, from what I see within the community of Marabella West, right? Well, and San Fernando on the whole, our people are very, very loving. Very loving people. But just at this point, people are very disgruntled. People they are frustrated, and there's a lot of problems going on the local level. And they don't have somebody to speak to. They don't have somebody to reach out to. I've seen situations like being in Marabella West right now, where the main drains are flooding. The people saying that over 20 years that they're trying to get these drains clean, and that one main drain causing the whole entire area to flood. I could see people where water high up to their knees. I could see, infrastructure being mashed up by the water, and all it takes is taking management. Because at this point, you might be in rainy season, right? And when I see these drains and I see how high the water is, and not even raining, and you've seen water high already, you realize that, it could be managed properly. Meaning that in the dry season we could clean it out, you understand? And then when the rainy season come, when you can't clean it, well then that is when it makes sense. It makes sense to do certain things during the dry season, so it's just timing, it's just managing things.
So then share with me then your plans and projections for this community. Right. Because as you said to me, you're seeing where there's a management issue, and there are things that can be done differently. So then, what are your plans? How do you plan to manage it and get it done differently? So what you are seeing now,
right.
And so give me an idea. What is your vision? And I would have asked you just now to share with me like the dynamics of the community.
Yeah.
How is it made up? How is the community make up? What's the makeup of the community?
Well, remember it have the business sector on the outside, right? Mm-hmm. So it have the big business sector, and then from behind the business sector is really the residential areas, and then from there it have Marabella line. So what I think that we need to really do at this point is just really try to see how best we could take the frustration off the floor. What I'm seeing that I have to do right now is, and I'm focused on, one of my main things is single mothers. There's a lot of crime going on in the communities, and what we're going to do now is, I think by focusing on the single mothers, we'll pull back from it, because at the end of the day, being the head of a home, right? Being the head of a home, especially when there's not a father figure, that mothers need that income, they need that job. So first thing first that I want to go...
Before you do, I have to go for a break and come back. So hold your thought. I come back after this break. We're back with you, Trinidad and Tobago, and Mr. Ali Bokas. Before we went for the break, was sharing with us his... giving us a kind of idea of the demographics of his community and the culture of the community, and he was giving us an idea of what he plans to do and how he plans to manage the area and some of the concerns that the Burgesses and the citizens have. And so you were telling me about you left off where you were sharing with me that there is a commercial part, which is the business part, and the residential part, and some other parts. So I just wanted to give you that chance to continue right where you left off.
Right. So I was talking about the single mothers, you know. I see an increase in single mothers out there, you know, whereby they are not proper father figures in the home. So one of the issues when coming to crime also to within the areas, and even for Trinidad, is that I think that we should see how best we could employ the single mothers, making them, giving them the power to have the money in order to see about their families, seeing about the future leaders, young leaders that coming up, whereby you're giving them the strength to be able to be the father figure and the mother figure of the home. So by doing this, what it is going to do is it is going to be able to, like when you were smaller, right? You would your mom would tell you, I want you to become first in test, right? But she will give you an incentive, or your father will give you an incentive, and the incentive is that, you know, you want this transformer. Here, what? In order to, you know, you have to pass your exams. I will buy it for you. So I think on the floor right now, there's no incentives when coming to the mothers and the parents of the home when coming to the children to motivate them. That's one, and that's part of unemployment, you know. So by focusing on the single mothers right now, you know, I think by getting them jobs and really taking the time to hear them, we could help a home that have 4 children, 5 children. Some of these homes, when I walk through Marble Line, they have 18 people in a home, you know, and 18 people, and then I am seeing that they're not going to school. You know, so what is the problem on the floor is unemployment. That's one of our major issues. And if it have unemployment, this could also be a part of crime. You know, so one issue goes into, it causes a next problem. And so that's one of my aims. I wanna deal with mothers right now, you know, because, and then the fathers, now we will deal with them. But that is one of the main issues. How are we going to strengthen the home to empower the mothers to be proper father figures and to see about the children? That is one. A next thing that I'm seeing in Marble Line, on the line itself, where has a lot of potential, is by the seafront. You know, if we could, local government could come together and we could see how best we could, you know, do a proper walkway. By doing that, you know, you beautify the community. It's because local government is about infrastructure, you know, and then now still with that creating more employment. Because, you know, we could create a stretch, you know, with food carts, and, you know, get the people from the area now to not give them a fish, but, you know, let them, teach them to fish, you know. So these are some of the ideas that I have for the community. How are we gonna bet it? How are we going to make them self-sufficient, not just depend on just the government? You know what I mean? You want the people also to express themselves, to be entrepreneurs, bring out, you know, all the children now, for them to see their parents being a proper role model, and then it will open up the business sector. It will open up, you know, proper leaders of tomorrow, you know, pull them away from going to crime, whereby the person on the corner that's supposed to be the community leader, you know, gives them money and then becomes the father figure. You know, let the parents be parents. So, you know, with us being given the power, this is whereby we could make a difference.
What's your view about local government reform? Do you think that is needed, or do you think that it's not needed?
I think right now, you know, me watching from the outside and now coming into this position, there's a lot of inequality within government. There's a lot of things that is being said, and it's not going to be done. I'm not seeing it being done right now. I just seen a set of talk. I'm seeing that right now it's an election year and people coming out on the floor. I'm seeing people buying votes. You know, I'm seeing people putting out money to buy votes. You know, when really and truly, you know, this is supposed to come from your heart. What is going on in your community? You're supposed to be from your heart. If something is wrong and people are unsatisfied, then wrong is wrong. Not we come down on the road and we give somebody money to buy a vote. You know, so there's a lot of things that I'm seeing. I'm not seeing this reform happening, you know, because at the end of the day, if we win, election was the situation then, with the reform. Right now, there's a budget given to, to the local government, and it's said, but then it's not happening on the floor.
Okay.
So to me, taxing the people, to me, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa is not taxing homes. At the end of the day, the country was already running properly, using the government, the Trinidad and Tobago government money. It was done already being run properly, and in this situation of COVID, whereby people done already drained, frustrated, for you to now come and tax people on homes, for the citizens now to see about the area, and then it has the it's unfair when coming to the commercial sector within the area now. They're not taking no taxes from them, so you're taking it from the average person on the street, right? Increasing in a hard time whereby food prices are high, everything is high, crime is high. Then at the end of the day, what you're doing for the people, we're making the people more frustrated. It is the responsibility of the government in order to see about the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, the government, right? But now you want to say that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, of every community, has to pay to see about their roads, have to pay to see about, while the commercial sector is not being taxed.
What are the skills that you bring to the council? So if you are to be chosen to be a part of the Santana City Corporation, what are the skill sets that you have to offer?
Well, I have my degree in business administration. I went to Roytech. I did up to my associate degree, and basically managing. Me managing my family business. It gave me the skill to know how to balance with people. It gave me the skill to be equal. Which is what we need right now. We need equality. There's a lot of favoritism that is going on within the communities, whereby this person has a CPEP contract, or this person has a URP contract, and they are all just giving it to their friends. I come from a home of business. I come from a home of equality, right? And this is what I'm looking to bring to the floor. I'm looking to bring equality to Marabella West. And in future, if I'm given the power, then if I could do it for the whole of Trinidad, I will bring it for Trinidad and Tobago. So,
if you were to meet someone and they say to you, I'm not voting for this local government election, I don't think local government election is important, in, may say, 10 words or less, what would you say to them?
No, it's very important. I would tell them that it is your duty to vote, because at the end of the day, infrastructure, bettering your infrastructure in your communities, the people itself, making sure that they get their jobs, from on all levels, and it's just real important for general election. It's very, very important for general election that once we win local, then we could have control from the general election aspect, winning, in order to give the people what they want, and to take them out of this frustration that they are in right now.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much, Mr. Ali Bokas, for being with us on the street now on 9 FM.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to go for a short break and bring in the other candidate, and then we'll have all of you all in to take some calls from the listeners of the street. 919 FM. So I am back with you, and as you know, I said to you, we have some UNC candidates in studio with me today, and they are here to talk to you, share with you why they are getting themselves involved into the politics. We had a young lady all the way from Iaro earlier on, and she would have shared with you, Trinidad and Tobago, why she would have put herself forward to be part of, the whole electoral process. Why she shared that this is her second term, really, second chance at the pie. We had Mr. Ali Bokas a while ago, who is vying for the Marabella West, and he would have shared with you also his plans, his projections, why he chose to get into the politics. And now I have with me Mr. Victor Roberts. Good morning, Mr. Roberts. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
All right.
Fine.
All right. So tell us, Who is Victor Roberts? Personally, professionally, who is Victor Roberts?
Right, so Victor Roberts hails from the community of, or the electoral district of Erin/Palo Seco. Victor Roberts has been a community activist for a number of years. Victor Roberts has been involved in the politics for just about 20 years or so. Victor Roberts also worked with Hedrich Barrow at one point in time as the PNM Member of Parliament for Labre. Victor Roberts also has a lot of experience in the field. I also participate a lot in community activities, charitable activities. I am also the chairman of a couple groups within the community, which is one Palo Seco Erin Justice Committee, which is another group that really fought on behalf of the people. I'm also the chairman of People for Progress, which is a charitable organization where we stretch our hands throughout the length and breadth of our community, whether it be with hampers or whether it be with school drive, in terms of like providing all stationaries for common entrance classes and so on within 6 schools within the area. We also have a lot of books drive that we do from time to time. So I am not new into the political arena. I also went as an independent candidate in 2016, which I secured some 700 votes. I believe it's the highest after one gentleman who was the first member of parliament for Labre, well, at the time was St. Patrick. But after that, 700 votes would have been a landmark for an independent in the district of Palo Seco. So I continue to do what I have to do, work on behalf of the people, and now I am vying for a position as alderman within the SIPA regional, or I should say the SIPA Borough Corporation now. So that's a holistic plan about Victor Roberts.
Okay. So you're not going up as a councillor, but you're going up as an alderman. Okay, cool. That's cool. So tell us, as an alderman, I was kind of looking up the role of an alderman, but that's in the city corporation really, and I was looking at some of the aldermans that San Fernando City Corporation would have had in the past and presently, and most of the times they'll always look for an alderman who has some professional background. Like they would have had Kenny Phillips at one time under the COP, and Kenny Phillips would have had, because he's a cultural icon, we know that Kenny would have been able to help them do whatever cultural thing, and then he had his radio station. So I was looking at other persons. There was another lady by the name of Joanna, I believe is her name, and she was on a COP too, and she was one who had strong marketing skills, where she would have been able to market the city in a certain way, like for the city week, and also like the commercial aspect of the city, the San Fernando Hill. You know, they had a lot of weddings and a lot of things being done on San Fernando Hill, because she would have marketed the hill in such a way that would have made, I want to get married on San Fernando Hill, or we could do a big concert on San Fernando Hill. So what do you bring to the table?
Well, apart from being a regional supervisor / engineering assistant under local government, that would be in the URP, I am also the holder of a diploma in project management. I also has a distinction in legal studies, and at this point in time I am pursuing my master's in project management in the London University College. So that's my skills that I am coming into the corporation with, if selected when that time reach. That is what I am bringing to the table.
Okay, cool. What are your thoughts about, if in a second or less, what do you share your thoughts about local government reform?
Well, local government reform, I am an individual who would support real reform.
Okay.
But at this point in time, I am not seeing that taking place.
Roadmap is the more we invite in misery.
All right, so we're back with you, Trinidad and Tobago, and as I said to you earlier on, we have in studio some UNC candidates, and well, we have two UNC candidates and a gentleman who is going up for aldermanship. I had to make sure and make that clear because there's a difference, there's a marked difference. Yeah, there's the two that you can go and vote for, and this gentleman, Mr. Victor Roberts, is appointed. Once the party wins the corporation or the borough, Mr. Roberts is going to be the alderman or one of the aldermen. How much aldermans are you going to?
As it is
two, right?
Yeah, two.
So Mr. Roberts is going to be the alderman.
Hopefully.
Yeah, there's some confidence to the Mr. Roberts.
No. You see, I doesn't prejudice the decision of the hierarchy in the party. They have a choice to make. So,
but once you put on your name, because your name had to be submitted.
There's about 6 candidates that put the name down, but there's only 2 out of the 6 will be required at this time.
I thought there was a foregone conclusion. Once they put you down, there is it for you?
No. There's 6 contenders at this time.
Within your party?
Yes. And within the PNM, I think there's 9. Because the list was published recently.
Yeah. But I find, based on what you said to me, as being an activist, that should have been a foregone conclusion. The man who talks. I want to make that say it right. I don't want to sound as a
No, you feel comfortable. I just deal with anything. You feel comfortable.
But if you are very vocal for the party, you are out there, you make your position, you take a position for the party knows, because I've seen on several occasions where the political leader would have met you on the Hall of Justice.
Yes, of course.
You would have walked from library. So you have been advocating for the party. There shouldn't be no contenders in the race. You should be a foregone conclusion.
Well, that is why democracy is important. That's something I fight for. And even within my party, the party that I support, I will fight for democracy inside there. You know, sometimes I often make a statement that some people really doesn't see eye to eye with, and that statement is this. Now, with Victor Roberts, people come before party. That's my personal position. But at the same time, I will fight for democracy across the board, whether it be inside of the PNM, whether it be inside of the government, whether it be inside of the UNC. Democracy is important. So I appreciate the process. There's a process that needs to be followed, and at the appropriate time, the leaders will make their decision. And when that decision is made, then of course I will conform to that decision. That's my position. That's how I think. That's how I operate in every given sense.
But you said something there. I just want to just touch on.
Go ahead.
You said that your position is that you believe in country before party.
Yes,
position.
people before party, of course. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I hear right now.
Yeah, you hear right.
Because that doesn't be really. Sometimes when you listen, you don't always hear that. You hear party before country.
Of course. So then, just as I follow you, you must follow my programs. Just as I follow you, you must follow my programs. And once you follow my programs,
what do you mean by
facts
you
not
follow
fiction.
me?
Facts not fiction.
What do you mean by you follow me?
Well, on social media, of course, I listen to everybody. Now, there is things that I may not see eye to eye with, just as the
So you don't see eye to eye with that statement at all?
Which one?
Party before country.
Party before country?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't resonate with me.
Mr. Victor Roberts.
Brother, listen what I'm telling you here today. Victor Roberts' position.
Yeah.
I have made this clear over and over again. You see, without people, there is no party. Without people, there is no party.
I don't think you're in trouble. Let's move on.
No,
I don't want to get in trouble.
No, you can't get me in trouble. Let me tell you why. I have made this publicly on all my platforms. I am the host of Facts Not Fiction,
right.
and I make it clear I make it clear
I
all
heard
the
you say
time.
it.
Yeah, that is my position.
All right.
So
we can move on from that point.
we could.
I don't want to steer that too much, right? So August the 14th.
Right. So I was making a point before when we come to the news break that you asked a question, what is my thoughts on local government reform? And I am saying I am for local government reform, but I am not supporting what I am seeing now for reform.
Right.
And I could share some things with you. For instance, we have seen in 2021 the Minister of Finance increase the allocation for the corporations by 148 million. In 2022, he came again and he increased it by 200 plus million. Then in 2023, he increased it up by 348 million. Right? But here it is. Within that same structure, in May of 2023, even though he increased it earlier on by $340 plus million, right in May after the Privy Council ruling, the Minister of Finance went back again in the media review and he raised that to 501 million. Now my point is this: while you raise the money from 1 point something million to 500 and something million in 3-year time, yet still we have not seen better roads, we have not seen better drains, the river courses still not clean. So then my question is, where the money? But be that as it may, while you raise that money to 501 million in 2023, yet to the end of the day, the corporations are still being starved for funding. We have the Separa Regional Corporation, now the borough, that have at least 400 and around 95. Right, 400 and about 95 kilometers square, and they get $79 million allocation. Now within that $79 million, that is responsible for everything: maintenance of vehicle, for roads, for bulk trains, for what have you. But yet we have a population of about 80,000 people. We have your constituency, Point 14.
I know the Point 14. Let's see, wrong place.
All right, so we have the Point 14 constituency with a kilometer square of 22.2, and yet to the end of the day, their population is just about 20,000, and yet Point 14 were able to secure $78 million with a population of 20,000 people, and Separa, a population of 80,000 people, get just 1 million more. We could utilize Port of Spain. Port of Spain is about 12 kilometers square. And Port of Spain get $200 million with a population of just 49,000 people. And I'm not talking about the urban communities that may very well depend. But a population of 49,000, they were able to secure 200 million. Point 40 with a population of 20,000 people, they were able to secure 78 million. But yet Separa with 80,000 people only get 79 million. So my point is with reform. If the Minister of Finance has increased this allocation every year by millions of dollars, and yet still that funding is still not increased in terms of the corporation, then when we're speaking about collecting property tax, the sore point that everybody don't want to talk to, yes, we know that there was land and building tax, and of course we know all that, and I agree that some sort of tax should be paid. I have no problem with building tax, land tax. I have no problem with that. But when we're speaking about property tax, and then on top of that, you're telling us now that when you collect this money, it will go into some consolidation fund. A consolidation fund in Trinidad and Tobago is really and truly the government bank. Everybody know that. That's the bank that the government will tap into. Yet when we pick up those taxes, let's say we pick those taxes up in relevant corporation, then it goes into that fund, then the Minister of Finance still has the authority to decide how much money will come out of that fund, how much money will go here, just like how Port of Spain get 2 million and the UNC Corporation get 49 million, just like how Point 14 get 78 million, and the UNC Corporation get 79 million with a population of 60,000 people, more than Point 14. So then it shows that the minister still has the authority to do as he please with the funding. There is no structure to say, well, okay, if X amount of revenue is picked up in the Separate Borough Corporation, then X amount of revenue will go back to the corporation. This for maintenance of vehicle, this for fuel, this for drains, this for roads.
So have you read the
I am
reform?
reading the
Well, I have read the reform.
I am reading the reform.
Well, I have read the reform, and what you're saying there is not true. Based on my information.
All right, help me.
Well, I don't want to get into the aspect of. I just wanted to hear from you, based on what is your view on the reform, in the sense of if you think that the dynamics of what they are presenting or what the government is presenting, what the different political parties are presenting to the nation, if that is going to work, or do you see it working where persons are now responsible for their community? The contractors are coming from the community. The employment must come from the community. The council is now in charge of the schools and the different areas of the community. If you think that that aspect of the reform or other aspects of the reform, is it going to work? If you think that can work, because for now we know that, as we understand from other council members and from other areas, they would have shared with us that the council could only get over 300,000. If they have to go over that 300,000, they have to write to central government. If they have to buy a car or a truck for $399,000, they have to write to the central government justifying why they have to buy this vehicle. But if the council has a certain amount where they know that they don't have to write to central government in order to fix a drain, and if they have bidding, so people from the community for a fact, and if you know that there's somebody who bid for out of the community and they get the contract, you could take it to court, you can do arbitration, you can do whatever. I am just looking at that aspect of it.
Right, so let's hold a minute. Now, it's an unfair statement to the listeners to say what I am saying is not so. And but
no,
wait,
I'm talking about in the sense of, you said that with the funding that the community, the
minister,
the community or the council, let's say Superior Borough, collect, let me say $50 million. The minister has control to tell them they could only get $8 million from that.
I didn't say that. Let me tell you what I just said. I said when the taxes are picked up, it goes into the consolidation fund. And what I'm saying is that the minister has the prerogative as to the distribution of the fund, as to how much and who. That is what I said.
Right, and I just repeated what you just said, and I'm saying to you, based on my information, I have the document right out there, based on my information, that is not how it's going to run. But I don't want, as I said, I don't want to get into that dynamics of it, because it's not that type of interview. It's an interview of you talking about you and about the why would you want people to vote for you or the party and stuff like that. So that aspect of the discussion, I don't want to get too much into, because I don't have much time, really. Right? I don't want to get into that too much.
I sort of feel like it breaks more for that subject.
Because I don't want to get into it, because I just said before.
But you see, remember, we have listeners, and if you are saying that the minister doesn't have the authority over the fund, then the listeners and they must know that what I'm saying is not so. And that is why I'm asking you to clear that up with them.
Yeah, I will clear that up with them, because I have the minister coming in on Friday, so he will clear that up.
Oh, he will clear it.
So because I know from reading the document that that's not how it's going to go. But the callers, and I'm just saying again that the interview isn't one that goes into that dynamic.
Let's move according to how you want us to go.
No. Based on how we because I had the other colleagues in here, and we were really talking about them and letting the listeners and the people know about who they are and why should the people vote for them, and what is the the objective and the plans that they have for their community. But as an alderman, that's different.
So, and that is why I deal with the raw subject.
No, that's different.
That is why I deal with the raw subject.
So that's why, as I said before, I didn't want you to get into that dynamics of it. All
right, well, you point the direction and let's go.
So, no, well, the question really I want to ask is, why should people vote for the candidates that is going up in the Superior Regional Corporation? Why should people...
So I could answer that also.
Yeah.
The candidates in the Superior Regional Corporation, which is Ramona, Victor, Derek Bowen, Javid, Shankar, Chanel, Nicola, and Jason Ali, together with Khadija. Those are individuals. Well, let me just leave out two for the time being, which is Palo Seco, Erin, and matter of fact 3, and Brighton Westerney. The rest of the candidates, they have been tested and proven. They have delivered to the people even while they were short on funding. They went to various communities, various business people, and they were able to get a lot done with the little that was given to them. And as a result of that, the people will reinstate them into the position as councillors in those areas. They had stood out even throughout the pandemic. They stood out. They went house to house. They went out, meet people. In terms of flooding, when they are on the ground on a daily basis, meeting the people, assisting the people. Any disaster that pops up within this community, they also provide whatever assistance they can. In relation to Brighton Westerney, Khadija Costello, Chanel Roberts, which is my daughter, by the way, and also Nicola Sylvester, they work with me alongside, and the same thing applies. In the flooding, we are the ones that goes out and assist the people. A matter of fact, there is one of the PNM councillor, which is Aline, who always call me and say, well, Roberts, how we could assist here and how we could assist there. And I assist as much as I could. I start off by telling you, we are involved in plenty charitable work within our electoral districts, in terms of helping people. When a fire occurs, the people who respond, you will see my team, including the 3 councillors, we solicit materials from various hardwares, business people. We deliver wood galvanized. However we could assist, we assist. During the times of flooding, these are the candidates who risk their lives on the outside. A matter of fact, we go through water sometimes because I build a vehicle. Particularly to assist people with flooding, because we have severe flooding as a lack of the river courses being clear on our side. So we go out and we do what we have to do to assist the people. These are young individuals. They are bright. They are very much educated. They bring a lot of skills to the table, whether it's business management and what have you. And these are candidates who will work towards bringing a better service to the community of Brighton, Palo Seco, and Erin. And that is why we ask people to come out and support them heartedly. Because we have seen over the years, and this, I mean, you could do your research as well. We have seen over the years, in those constituencies, we have supported the PNM for years. As a matter of fact, PNM Party Group 21 was under my house, was under my father's house. And we work for years. And we had to take a position based on what we have seen. The Southland is where the revenue comes from. We build Trinidad and Tobago. We could boast that Point Fortin, Labrador, Faizabad, we contribute significantly to the building of Trinidad and Tobago. And to the end of the day, while we build Trinidad and Tobago, to date, in these constituencies and these communities, we are actually begging. A matter of fact, everybody's a vendor right now, not criticizing those who vend, but everybody have to be selling out at the car trunk, who selling by the side of the road, who had to pop a shed by the main road, and that is what is happening in the Southland. So we have not really benefited from the wealth and the resources that leave our soil, and therefore we have embarked on a strategic plan going forward, where the people of Palo Seco, Erin, and Brighton Westerney would be able to benefit from what comes out of the ground in those areas.
All right, thank you very much. Well, so we're gonna go for a break, pay some bills. After we pay those bills, we're gonna have the 3 candidates in the studio, and we take some calls of the list from the listeners of the street now and FM. So we're going for a break, and we come back from the break, right? Pay some bills, and then we're gonna come back and take some calls from you, the listeners, and the viewers of the street lines. So don't touch your dial. As I said before, you know, we have some UNC candidates in studio with us, with one of the I did the all man thing tomorrow, I'll be honest, eh? Yeah. All right. With one of the prospective all men. All right, right?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. Mr. Roberts in studio with us, Mr. Ali Bokas, and just remind me your name again, young lady. Miss Kisoon. Miss Kisoon. Now, this one, the last name, give you respect, Miss Kisoon. So we're going straight to the phone line with first caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good
this
afternoon.
is a question from Macamillion. I want Macamillion to name something here that the UNC bill here that contribute to our national budget, where we can enjoy subsidized life, subsidized water, subsidized gas, free schooling, from nursery to tertiary, healthcare, midco.
All right, well, one thing
that the UNC bill here that contribute to it.
Okay, so I'll allow him to answer you. Hello, go ahead. Mr. Macamillion.
I'm trying to hear, so...
Oh, you didn't hear what he said?
You see, we name some of the things that the UNC built in this country.
Well, first to begin, when coming to the local, you know, we must give the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bisesa for when coming to the reform that councillors right now are given the ability to have an office which is paid by the state, and not only that, you know, to pay for everything that, you know, that they need on a monetary level. You know, when coming to the hospital in San Fernando, you know, the heliport to the top, you know, she did so much. She did things like the laptops for schools. She built a lot of schools. She was even in the process of building the children's hospital, which was stopped, and also to the university that was building in Devi. So there's a lot of things we could say about the Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bisesa. She did a lot for us. What do you say, Victor?
So let me just help him out there a little bit. So Kola, the UNC has also built the teaching hospital in San Fernando. The UNC built and put together the aviation school in Cuba. The UNC also put together the nursing academy. The UNC also put together the drilling academy. The UNC also put together the university in Pinal, the Children's Hospital in Cuba, a number of schools throughout the length and breadth of this country, and I mean the list could go on. So I will ask you in your own humble time just to go up on the UNC website, and you will see all that the UNC did during the tenure that they were in office. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so go back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So I want to ask a question here, right? As the people representing people, is it most of the time? Is it about dollars and cents, or is it about prioritization and proper representation? Okay, for example, I heard the Prime Minister about 2 nights ago talking about how the property tax money will be used through the corporation, and one of the things he mentioned is hire more staff. And I mean, is it that the majority of funding, like in many institutions, 3/4 go in the staff, and we do not get the vote people in, but yet we do not get the kind of it's like they don't have a passion then for dreams. And as a community activist, I mean, I know what that feels like. I mean, I got things done in my community, and I am no MP or councillor, but it was done through representation, and they are median for that. So I have a concern about that, and I really, because I just heard a while ago, right, about how much millions some corporations get and how much that. Is it about the really and truly, when it comes to represent the people, the question is, I'm asking, is it about the money alone, or is it about proper representation and a passion to do what you were elected to do? Thank you.
So, Kola, let me answer that question. When you go to the ghost tree, you could carry a UNC party card or a PNM party card and get grocery. When you go to the pharmacy, could you carry any one of those cards and get medication? Funding local government, we have central government who will disperse money to local government. Local government is what meets your everyday needs. And therefore, if there is no equity in the distributions of funds throughout the length and breadth of the country to various corporations, then you self will be complaining how the people not representing you and the councillors not performing, and you're not getting a box drain and you're not getting your garbage taken out on time. So yes, local government funding, without funding, there is no representation from that level. Of course, people do what they have to do. I get a lot of things done, not even being in the corporation. I get a lot of things. I get material donated. I get material to fix road. We patch hole. We do all that. But without the proper funding to the corporations, then you yourself will be complaining that the councillors not doing the job they're supposed to do. Thank you.
Hello?
What's that?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are institutions in this country where we have a hefty budget every year, and there are things like the Land Settlement Agency, and there are other institutions where the monies are located, but yet the proper representation is not being made. And the point I'm focusing on is about representation, and I think that's the key. And in the debates we are hearing tit for tat, all kind of allegations, and nobody is going through a comprehensive detail about how this reform, or even how it will work, or how it will not work. That's what I'm asking. Thank you.
All right, let me take our next caller. Hello, good afternoon. That's cool. Hello,
good afternoon to you, Pastor Google. And let me say good afternoon to Victor Roberts, Kisha Soon, and the next candidate there. And I want to say good afternoon to my political leader, Kamala Prasad Bisasa. And good afternoon to the former Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith. And after listening to these two candidates there who's going up, there's no doubt about it. We vote in this country must go to the UNC. Because after listening to these candidates' plan and the vision and the passion to serve country before party, you understand that our party, UNC, is going in the right direction. Choosing young people with ambition, with passionate to serve country, and we must hear, because in these we don't make mistake on platform, we don't make mistakes, and nobody don't write our speech. So when you hear these two young people come this afternoon here, and they hear them speak from the heart and the mind and the soul, you know that we party, UNC party, is heading in the right direction. And August the 14th, we must come out. And Victor Roberts, Pastor Google, correcting you and debating you on the issues of the day, we must say that we party again, the UNC party who for country, who care for each and everyone. We must send a serious message come August the 14th and put these young people on the UNC side. Wherever the NTA is UNC. Wherever the UNC is NTA. We are unit, we are one family, we are one country, we are one people, and we are looking to vote out this PNM in this local election to send a strong message that we here for country, and we here to serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you very much.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon, sir.
And to the goodly UNC members there, good afternoon to you, gentlemen. Pastor Google, I want to ask the people two things. I don't know if the question was asked or was in and out. Are they in support of the local government reform? One. And did they attend the consultations that was presented to the population concerning local government reform? Why didn't they attend to it? And in keeping so, if they are in support, if they regret not attending the consultation, which would have totally informed them as to local government reform. So my question is, do they support local government reform? And if they could do it again, if they would have attended the consultation, if they look at that as a negative thing, what they did in terms of the information for local government reform. Listen off here, thank you very much.
Right, you want to answer as a former councillor.
Yeah, and returning. That's an excellent question. And being in the corporation as a local government councillor, the ministry would have engaged us, Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, to talk about the local government reform, right? As I mentioned, Pastor Google, I am not against local government reform. We need local government reform. Perhaps the caller entered the conversation a little late. As well as I would like the population to be aware that whether PNM wins or loses this local government election, local government reform can happen. They will still be the government of the day. So saying that we won't be able to do this if we lose the local government election, that's not true. Local government reform can happen. It could have happened since 2015 when the PNM campaigned on it then, and it can happen on August 15th, 16th, 17th, or today. Thank you, Pastor Google.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad that you would have indicated that, you'd have cleared that up, because there's a misconception that people think that once the UNC come into office in local government, the reform can't continue, they will stop the reform. And one of the things that you said in the studio by yourself was that you are for the reform because you are like a full-time counselor, and you know the pressure and the horrors that you go through to get things done. And you told me that you full time. You don't even have to wait for the reform to be full time. You're full time now, so you know you are on the ground. You know what are the needs, and you were talking about different aspects of the community that you want to embark on, which is create where you live, just like how people should go to Maracas. They must see your area as another option, and the reform will help you to bring that into fruition, where you can help people to come to your area and see different parts of Miaro. That is a big, well-kept secret, if I'm saying it the right way.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And what I said is that we need proper reform, proper reformation, and property tax is not the answer.
Okay.
One of I would just like to say to the caller also too that when coming to our leader, right? She's not against the reform, but she's against the inequality, the equality of things on the inside that is going on. It's not fair for the people. So I think that the people out there have to know that she will only accept certain things when coming to the reform if it has a fair basis.
Okay, let's take this call. I can take this call.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google and the UNC councillors who are there. I want to ask two questions. Mrs. Bissessel was so honorable. She did so much good for the country. It only lasted 5 years. Why did the people vote her out? And now she's calling for help with other parties to join together to vote out the PNM. If she was so honorable and so good, did she have to ask for help with other parties to vote her into power again? Thank you.
Right. So let me answer that. Let me answer that question. First of all, caller, let's just draw your recollection back as to what took place in 2015. In 2015, there were serious allegations of corruption. There were allegations of email gate, where the Prime Minister, the National Security Minister, and other ministers were planning to kill a journalist. And based on the media houses in this country, who beat the front page, back page, side page, all the pages with these stories, even when a child, my little son who going to school, would have known what is a good email or what is a fake email. But nevertheless, based on the media houses and what was purported to be true at the particular time in relation to all the allegations that still exist today and yet cannot be proven, that's the reason why the people of this country took a decision. Because I myself, if I am hearing that Keith Rowley is planning to do anything of that sort, and some kind of document would be furnished in the parliament and by President House and what have you, I think the country did the right thing based on the fact that they weren't aware that these allegations was false, and therefore they made a decision. Too bad that they have to regret the decision now, but that is the reason. On the second part of it, with looking for help, nobody is looking for help in anything. There is a coalition that had been formed between two political parties. It's nothing new. It happened in the past, and it may very well happen in the future. So, be that as it may, come the 14th, we will see how things work.
Hello, good afternoon, caller. Hello, afternoon, caller. All right, you're not there. Hello, good afternoon, caller.
UNC councillors on the street 19919. Let me applaud the UNC councillors and them for putting themselves forward for service. I want to go with Macamillion contribution into the Marabella area. When I listen to Macamillion, I say everything over there is facts and truth. Because when I look at the line area, because we from Marabella area, we look at the line area. When I hear the Honorable Minister Faris Alwari speak about San Fernando and the billions that they spend into the San Fernando areas, I say that was nice and that is good service. But when you really look at it, the poor, the needy, and the underprivileged in Marabella areas, they pay the tax for food, they pay the tax for material, they pay tax for everything. So San Fernando get our money to put that development over there to boast to say they spend $1.something billion. But if Faris Alwari could have spent some of that money down on the line there by those single mothers and them that 15 and 16 children in one building, in one little 10 by 10 and 10 by 15 buildings and things, I would like to see leaders and authorities to take with money and go in the poor areas and them and assist these people and them, because if you don't develop the poor areas and them and you build all those high-rising buildings and them, is the future of this country have to see about those buildings and them. And if you leave these mothers and them with single mothers and them with these children and them, sometimes many of them fathers die, many of them fathers them in prison, and I will say the authorities abandon the people and them and leave them over there. So it's good to give a mother a food card, it's good to give a mother a hamper, but it also good to give the mother opportunity where she can get her work and buy she own food and buy she own hamper and pay she own bills. And that is giving people opportunity where they can develop themselves. So the young councillors at the UNC, I give all from 1 out of 10, I give all 10 out of 10. Continue doing what all they're doing. I think the future generation of this country dependent on you all. Even my children and them have to depend on all because all is the future. And we have to go this road. All do a wonderful job. And Pastor Google, thank you for taking my call.
Pastor, let me tell you something. Our leader cannot make a statement, and this is from John Michael Ali Bukas, this is from Macamillion. You can't make a statement saying that the rich is going to get richer in order to see about the poor. That's a very wrong statement, because right now what you are seeing on the floor is that the rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. And it reached to the point, the lady before, I just want to tell you that at the end of the day, it is about change. Right? The reason why the people of Trinidad and Tobago wants change is because they are suffering. They are frustrated. Food prices are high. Crime rate is of the highest right now. You know, Gary Griffith, the NTA, he has shown that he has secured Trinidad and Tobago at a point in time, and he brought it down to the lowest. So everything that is going on right now is because they were given the chance. And what we are asking for is to be given back that chance in order to have correct governance. The UNC is here to bring back correct governance to Trinidad and Tobago. John Michael Ali Bukas, Macamillion are throwing the towel right now, because at the end of the day, I am seeing too much people and too much mothers and too much families suffering, desperate, and then you're coming on the floor to give a person a $200 to buy a vote. What is going on in Trinidad and Tobago? We need to wake up. We need to wake up and see what is going on. People are dying. You are seeing mothers hanging themselves. We had a hanging, and nobody is going back. Nobody has the compassion. Where is the compassion? Where is the heart? Where is the heart? Where is the heart? A mother is going to kill herself, hang herself, leave her children behind, and my leader playing golf? This is craziness that is going on in Trinidad and Tobago, and we must take charge. I am here from the entertainment point of view, and I come forth because at the end of the day, my power on the ground and my influence is needed right now in order to see about the people and put the people and serve the people. Not just be empowered and use your power towards taking advantage of the people. This is not what it is about. So at the end of the day, we must put young leaders now that is for the people. And we are here to serve. We are here to do our job. We are given a job by the country to serve the people, not to empower us for our own needs to be powerful, to rank on the people.
I have a next caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well, I'm a bit kind of confused whether it's a local government election thing that you're discussing or a general election, because the parents and this and single women and all of that, I see where it fit in. But I personally see where it fit in, right? But the taxes that, all right, you're in for local reform, but you're against property tax. So how are we going to get things to run smoothly if we don't pay those taxes? We have to pay those taxes in order for us to get things running, and not keep staying but poor people and poor people and poor people and these kind of things. We are not poor. And I from Mobile Avanti area, we are not poor. Thank you.
Kola, you ever come down in Labrie? You ever come down in Palo Seco and Erin and Pleasantville and Marabella and all them places? You ever come down there, Kola? Kola, in Labrie, there's people living on the pitch. They're sleeping on the pitch with a plyboard with 3 and 4 blocks. And the children and the wife, when rainfall water pass underneath them and go the way. Kola, in this area, there is no employment. Whatever little employment it had in those areas would take away. When you see, I think we're missing the point that is really existing, you know. We are saying that, look, local government reform must be done properly. That is what we are saying. And we are also saying that if, as it is, as I said earlier on, where the minister were able to move the allocation from 148 million to 501 million, and it still could not reach the corporations, where the corporation would have been in a better standing with those 4 increase within 3 years. How come today, because a minister promised that he will do this? We have seen so much promises. The Prime Minister promised he wasn't going to close Unc Petrotrin. He tell him mothers, he tell everybody, we're not closing Unc Petrotrin. We have seen so much promises by this government that fall apart. So for you to tell us that to the end of the day, based on what the ministers say, taxes will come back to here and taxes will come back to there and taxes will fix here and fix there. We have 501 million and it's fixing no way. So we are saying that equity have to be across the board. We cannot prefer one corporation more than the next. We have to look at all the corporations, do our analysis of it, and distribute the wealth so it could reach down to the people. I know we kind of short on time.
Yeah, well, the time gone.
Yeah, so...
Right, so we want to thank you all very much for being here with us. I hope that you were able to extend your, your
views.
All right, and wish you all the best.